Oh, there we are again. Welcome warmly again to yet another episode of L&D so far and in future. Around this time, no, not this time, around 14, 15 months back, in the summer of 2019, I was down in Andhra Pradesh on an unusual training project where every day was a creative trainer's challenge. One person treated it as a creative trainer's delight. There were 40 of us or so across around 20 locations in Andhra. And today's guest, BARNALI, was the only trainer who kept calling me to brainstorm ideas as to how to make tomorrow's and day after tomorrow's classes effective. That is the level of her sincerity as a trainer. Come on in, BARNALI. Welcome.
Hello, good evening, Devanigda. Good evening to all my viewers who are watching us now.
I hope you're doing well.
Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Rocking.
We have a double challenge today. We have to keep the recording under 10 minutes. So I've kept this handy. So I remember one of the innovations that you made at that time. We had to teach these people, amongst 100 other things, the difference between the V sound as in the letter V and the W sound as in the letter W. And you did something very strange about two animals. Which were they? What was that? Yeah.
For the V, I use the rodent. That is, you make the face like a rodent. And for the W, make a face like a piggy. So I used an analogy with piggy and rodent.
They must have had great fun.
I had to make lots of faces. It was real fun.
And that is something that sets a sincere trainer apart. The person doesn't mind making fun of himself. So
that's how it should be like.
All this is what I see in you, but you tell me, what sets you apart?
Good question, Devanigda. We all are unique in our own right. So we are all creative people, and all creativities, creativities are unique. So I would say, since you've asked this question, what sets me apart? Now, this is something which I have tried out in that project itself, in that Andhra project itself, which is pretty much similar to DBT or drama-based training. So I've tried to, incorporate drama skits into my training program, especially for trainings on life skills. I use lots of drama where I write the script and the dialogue, and I ask them to get under the skin of the character and feel the situation. So this is an experiment which I have tried out a couple of times to success. So I'm an experimental person by nature, and this is the kind of experiment that I bring to the training room.
So people get a chance to simulate and actually live out the transformation even before leaving the training room.
A simulation which can get nearest to reality.
Nearest to reality. And that's where a lot of creativity comes in. However, you and I are talking to each other in strange times. How do you see yourself giving the same value in future, post-COVID?
Yes, it would be a little challenging for us, because as you can understand that we are into experiential training. So we incorporate a lot of activities into our training programs, and it wouldn't be possible for us, to adapt all these activities to the digital platform. But as I can understand that 1/3 of our training would be taken to the digital platform in future.
So
blended learning, yes, at a minimum. So blended learning is going to be the order of the day. It's going to be the new world order. So I guess if you're not comfortable with technology, it's high time you learn technology, you get adapted to technology, and you make technology your best friend, because that is the only way which will help you to sustain in the market. And also what I foresee for the future is that training is going to be more therapeutic in nature. So it's training blended with mentoring and counseling. So we need to double up as counselors and mentors.
That raises a very important thing. Even if you leave aside the recent spate of bad news about people taking their lives, but one thing is clear: social distancing is triggering human distancing. People crave connection, which is getting more and more difficult to give.
I guess so that shouldn't be the case, because social distancing need not necessarily bring about emotional distancing. So some of my best friends, they live across continents and I'm still in touch with them. It's true that we don't get to meet one another very often. I guess once in 4 or 5 years we get to meet in person. But they know, and I also know that we are there for one another. So we stay connected. We are just a call away. So that's the kind of impression that we give. That's the kind of trust. So the trust is very, very important, and it has got nothing to do with geographical distance. So trainees should trust the trainers. They should trust that trainers are there for them and they are for their good. So I
So
guess that's the
everything
kind
is
of,
new, but nothing's new. Now I'll
everything is
bowl you a
new,
bouncer. Sorry, sorry,
everything is new, but nothing is new. So it's a
but
pretty
nothing is
old
new.
concept. It's a pretty old concept, but yes, we need to live that
I'll
in our
end by
day-to-day
bowling
life.
you a bouncer. And trust me, my dear audience, we did not come scripted. She does not know what this is. We did not come planned. I'm giving you a choice of three things. One is something to do with behavior and attitude and soft skills. The other is something to do with English vocabulary. Third is something to do with English accent for us Indians. Give us one of your on-the-spot innovations. Leave my audience in 20, 30 seconds with a takeaway in one of these areas. And I'll
So
go
I'll
off the
speak about
camera.
behavior.
I'll disappear.
Okay. So I'll speak about behavior and attitude. This is a message, actually, a message that I wish to put across. This is a message from one of my mentors. I'm currently pursuing a cognitive behavioral therapy, and one of my mentors, Mr. Kane Ramsey, this is what he has got to say, that we as trainers need to walk the talk, which means that training cannot be complete without transformation, because the core purpose of training is to bring about transformation in people. And if it is behavioral training, then the core purpose is to bring about transformation in behavior and attitude. And if you really wish to bring about a change in behavior and attitude in others, first you need to live that change yourself. So you need to undergo that transformation within yourself. And it's only then that that transformation will rub off onto your trainees. So this is a message. I'm just acting as a conduit. And this is a message from him to all of us, to the entire training fraternity.
So walk the talk, even if that entails actually running and dancing and jumping.
Sure, why not? I mean, we cannot be bound by any constraints. We are trainers. We need to experiment. We need to be experimental all the time.
Absolutely. And that's what sets people like you apart. And I hope and pray that we've been able to keep this down to the time limit, because I want to
Keeping my
upload this
fingers
on
crossed.
certain platforms. Okay, then take care. And if there's anything I can do for you in these strange times that we're going through, do let me know. And all the best.
Thank you so much. And stay safe, stay healthy,
And stay peaceful.
stay peaceful.